right, guys. So, sorry about that slightly prolonged commercial break. In that commercial break, we actually threw on a few songs. We had Dory Avener's Little Sunday Sessions, Cause for Concern. He is a artist who's going to be performing at Yesfest. And the last song you heard before that, or after that actually, was Indifference by Where's Fernando, who is the next band we have here today. And I just want to give a quick on-air apology for the mix-up of there's so many bands this year at Yesfest, and we're kind of emailing, trying to get figure out when we can get them in for a radio interview. Thank you guys so much for being able to come in to the studio because y'all rock. So
Thanks for being flexible and having us here.
of course, I love you guys. I would always want to have you on the studio. You guys are a fantastic group. But I'm speaking from experience. So y'all, I guess my audience doesn't know you. So can you go around and introduce yourselves and kind of who you are in the band, what you do?
Sure. My name is Austin. I'm the bass player for Where's Fernando.
I'm Jack. I'm the guitar player and sometimes the singer.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm Quixie. I'm also a guitar player and one time a singer.
One time a singer.
Soon to be two. I am. It's my phone. Sorry.
It's okay.
I'm Christian. I play the drums. My cell phone.
Hey, nice. Let me just start off by reading a little bio about you guys that was on your Facebook page. It says, Where's Fernando is an alternative rock band that fuses 90s grunge rock with the subtleties of jazz and funk, channeling the sounds of System of a Down, Cage the Elephant, and Nirvana, while maintaining a sense of classic rock. That's a lot of genres in there. That's really... Yeah. I know, it's cool, though. It's cool because it's a cool blend, and I think it kind of does represent itself in your music that you write. But what would you, if your guys are kind of giving a 30-second elevator pitch to someone, what would you say Where's Fernando is about? Someone who's never listened to it before.
In terms of what genre we fall under, or just
kind of vibe, in general vibe. Well,
I think if I was gonna pitch it to someone quickly, I would just say that I think we just try to maintain true to ourselves and to our audience. So we try to talk about topics that just really speak to us, and we feel that other people don't really speak about, but they would still be able to connect.
In your music?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Well, what's one of those topics?
There's
Finesse is probably a good example.
Yes.
Christian's the songwriter of that one, so.
Can I touch this?
Yeah, go for it.
Funesta is one of those tunes. It's about being really sad.
Okay.
And about just kind of wondering if you're the only one feeling this way.
Well, I figured it went a little bit further than
you want me to go further?
Sad.
Yeah.
Okay, fine, I'll go further.
Well, let's get to the heart of it, man.
Let's get to the heart of it. the word funesta I stole from the Latin language. It means suicidal, actually.
I remember talking about this last time you guys were here because I totally thought it was finesse. I was like, oh, it's fun, right? That's
That's happy-go-lucky.
No.
No, it's not fun.
No.
Yeah, I remember writing the lyrics to that, and it was kind of during a hard time when I was in school, and yeah, specifically there's some lyrics that talk about isolation when you're in public, which is kind of a ironic kind of term or phrase, but yeah, I mean, there's something to be said about feeling alone when there's actually people around you, friends or even strangers, and you don't know how to express yourself, so you kind of bottle it in. And I think Funesta is this sonic representation of letting it out, letting out this feeling that you may be having deep inside.
That's
basically
right.
it.
Okay. And so you guys like to explore, that's just one of the topics that you guys explore in your music is
Right. I mean, I think the biggest thing is what Quixie was saying about staying true to ourselves. I think most artists, a lot of artists like to do that, and it's essentially just putting yourself out there, and a lot of times when you do, you'll find that a lot of people can connect on it much more than if you try to put a sheet over it, or kind of, if you're totally transparent, people like that.
And I feel it's funny too, because I feel one of the big topics in our music too, which I feel it's in basically all songs, is love. And it's really funny because we've written a couple of songs that hit the topic. But whenever we do it, I feel like we find ourselves thinking like, well, like it's one of the hardest subjects to touch because like it's like how could you even define like what it really means, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like us as people, we're still trying to like figure that out. And I think it's gonna be interesting with like our future songs, like maybe our perspective changes and we write a different song, you know?
Mhm.
So
Cool.
Very true.
So how long have you guys been a band?
A little over a year.
yeah, a year and a couple of months,
Mm-hmm.
probably
Cool.
like 3.
How did you guys all meet? When was this project created?
Well, all these guys were actually in separate classes of mine. So I met Austin in music theory.
Nice.
Aaron was in my guitar class. Oral skills, yeah. But that class was kind of a blur, so I
That's-
don't really remember much.
It's okay.
What time were you taking it at that point?
I don't remember, man. And then Christian.
It wasn't like an 8 a.m., was it? 8 a.m.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's a rough one.
That's a rough
And
one to
then
take
Christian
through.
was in the English class, which is funny because like we're all in the music school, and I met him through English. So
Word 101.
yeah, Word 101. Yeah.
Word.
And I did not go to DePaul. But
Okay.
but I met these guys through this guy, Austin. You guys can't see, but
Well, you guys could see
had
if
it.
you're
Yeah,
on
you can see
Facebook or
that.
If you're on
Instagram.
Facebook Live, you
There
can
you
see. But so me and Austin were in another band together, and casually puts his arm around.
Just casually, claiming
and
spot here.
so he there was actually a former guitar player in the band, and then when he left, Austin was like, hey, like I know this dude
Mhm.
who plays guitar.
Kind of shreds on guitar. I was
Oh,
like,
yeah.
So
when will we ask him?
Let's claim him
I met
for
up
the
with them
band.
last summer and played with them, and like the first day I like jammed with them, I was like, yeah, yeah,
was like,
this is
yeah.
awesome.
Cool.
So
Pretty much.
yeah.
Nice. So when you're introducing people to your music for the first time, what's the song that you kind of like to show people first?
I like to show.
Indifference.
Really?
Yeah.
I like to show people Finesta.
Yeah.
A lot of
Really?
people like that
Huh.
one. Yeah.
All right.
That is one that people surprisingly really like.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's really depressing. But
Well,
We-
a lot of people.
But they can relate, maybe.
Yeah,
you know?
a lot of people.
Right,
I,
exactly.
I've heard
Uh-huh.
like Black Sabbath, and then like people say like.
well, it's definitely taken from Black Sabbath.
I mean, just like the intro, like it just gives that vibe.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, and then like just the way the song kind of flows into like the end section where it's a little more like we change tempo and it's all
Yeah.
yeah, totally
Mhm.
different.
You know-
that
Um,
one, especially because of, oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I feel like that one's really popular because it's so simple, yet so like subtly like, what's the word I'm looking for, guys?
Not complex.
It's not. It's definitely not. It's,
So
yeah, it's definitely
subtly
not
not.
complex and simple.
I love it.
But it's got that catchy hook, you know.
Uh-huh.
It kind of just repeats, and I think people like when they can understand what's happening musically,
Mm-hmm.
they're like more able to,
Yeah,
or more likely.
totally.
Well, appreciate the lyrics at the very least, you know.
Yeah, no,
Like,
yeah.
really get to the heart of the
Lyrics are
song.
pretty good, and we have our own Quixie Morrison singing. It's definitely got a Doors vibe as well, and he's doing a
Yeah.
great job
Cool.
singing.
yeah.
Nice. So let's take a listen to that one first, because I did play Indifference as we were kind of introducing you all on air. So this is Finesta by WRC. By Where's Fernando on WRC 8.7 FM.
fear that sends me near that scary place of pain and tears. Her eyes play their game, a masquerade entertain. Does she love me? Does she hate me at all? Smiling when I cry, my well-rehearsed self-disguise. Am I living? Am I dying at all? The darkness looms, the feeling hits, the loneliness that lurks within. A rush of fear that sends me near that scary place of pain and tears. I thought I knew myself, an image of a man, all just a lie. Knew nothing till I died.
Hey guys. Hello. So that was Funesta by Where's Fernando, which is not FYI, that's not a fun song. Don't make the same mistake I did. I mean, it's a really good song and it's about a really good topic, but yeah, if you're looking that up and you're watching along, following along on at home, it's not a fun song. Anyway, this is Where's Fernando, and they're a fantastic local band from Chicago, and they're in the studio with us today. And I wanted to kind of get back into the interview with asking you guys about your name. Like, where's Fernando? Like, where did he go, man? Like, what's up with the name? Like,
Should
we
I
don't-
answer?
and if you don't have to.
Austin,
Take it away.
do you want to answer?
I think I have the answer. I think I found the answer. So, where's Fernando? We kind of use as a just a metaphor for really like finding yourself. Where's Fernando's like it's almost like searching for someone or something that should be fulfilling
Like, where's
you.
Waldo?
Well, yeah, sort of.
No, I'm sorry. I
Well, I mean, like eternally searching. So, where's Waldo sort of fits the vibe. But
Yeah.
I just want to say where's Waldo does not fit the vibe.
but it's just I think we use it now as a term within the band just for continuously searching to find just what in yourself is really driving you, really like search for your passions and really searching for what gives you the meaning in life, and like what gives you like all these emotions that allow us to create these songs that we write. So
Cool.
Yeah.
That's cool because it kind of ties back into the first idea that Quixie started talking about, which is the fact that you guys try to find or try to stay true to yourselves in your songwriting.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like the best way you can describe your band sound is you guys just being true to yourselves and doing whatever you want almost. It sounds like, at least, because some of these songs, and I mean this in the best possible way, like you guys start off sounding like a rock band, you know, just like a rock band. And when I first heard you guys, your turn Indifference, I was drawn into it. I was like, yeah, it's kind of catchy. But I wasn't like overly impressed. I was just like, oh, there's chords. Cool. It sounds like a lot of power chords, you know? But then it got into it, and like then you guys start throwing in those like weird little changes, and then the chorus is just like this cool little like waterfall. Like it's
like that.
fun. It's interesting, and you guys throw in things that are unexpected and keep the sound fresh. So how did you guys decide to start? Did you decide to start doing that, or was it just like a product of you guys going to DePaul and I don't know if studying?
Well,
I think it's pretty natural, to be
Or-
honest.
Yeah, I think our music kind of took a turn where we kind of like wrote a bunch of new songs because we just wanted to have like our own music for our shows. And then at some point we all kind of decided to like take a step back, and we were like, okay, well, like let's actually like look at our music and see what we could make better. And so when we did that, we started dissecting our music, and I think it was at that point where we all started like coming up with more ideas and like kind of like pitching in like to what we had. And when we all started to do that, I feel like the songs started turning to like what they are now. So it's really like a collaborative effort.
Yeah, and at the same time too, I think a lot of the songs too were just kind of like naturally came about as I mean specifically like Rain Song, like just kind of that was even just a jam that we had one day that all of us were like, well, that was pretty sick. Let's go back and kind of just revisit that and try to make that a song. And
So do you guys like record all your jams now after you practice? Or
yeah,
Not
we
as
went
much
through
as
it.
we should, though.
Not as much anymore, but there's definitely a good period of time where we were recording like everything that we were kind of playing together, and that's Yeah, so
is that your songwriting style though, like kind of jamming together and then like picking up things out of that jam to make into a song, or is it more?
It varies
Yeah.
honestly, like
Yeah.
a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like sometimes someone will come in with an idea and we just kind of work around it, or
Sometimes people come in with a complete song, like just like this is how I want it to be from start to finish, like totally knowing exactly what's supposed to happen. A lot of times it's a jam.
Yeah. Oh, it's totally fair. And since you guys, last time you guys were here was a year ago, right when the album kind of released. Since then, have you guys noticed that any of your songs have changed that you've done live, or have you added anything to your set list? Like, talk about that process.
Yes.
I know-
Christian got excited.
Yeah, right.
Mhm.
Actually, as a drummer, I haven't changed like a bunch of what I'm doing, but I've always had like certain things that I wanted to be playing that I wasn't able to play at the time, like physically. And as I've been more influenced by like drummers that I highly like respect, I've been taking nuances that they do and adding to it. And outside of that, as a group, I think we've been kind of, for a lack of a better term, getting bored with certain stuff, and we've been trying
That's
to
fair.
like extend, the possibilities of what we can do. Adding new colors and sounds and extending sections and whatnot.
Have you guys been influenced by any like Chicagoland bands in particular? Because I noticed you guys play out like quite a bit.
We love Chicago.
Yeah, we do. It's true.
No, but yeah, we were talking about kind of a grungy sound. We love.
And even more so than specific bands, I think like one thing we've been trying to do more is like going and seeing shows together and kind of getting ideas from other bands and like seeing like, oh, they did this and like that's really cool, like that's a cool idea, we should maybe try to do that in our own way, and kind of pulling from bands in that way as opposed to like one specific band, right?
Yeah.
Like really like and kind of like take from.
Yeah, and I know that individually too, we're all kind of always,
Talking
going
about it.
down. Well, yeah, talking about our own favorite bands and kind of drawing and kind of always going down our own musical interests and paths and drawing, new stuff. We're all into very different music.
For sure.
But
Yeah.
overall, kind of what Jack was saying, I think we like to take aesthetics and like vibes from bands and from live shows.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
More or less than like I love this band. I want to sound like them. You know, we want to have just a character about our band, and we've been looking for that sound, and I think it's been developing naturally.
This whole theme so far has been searching for yourself.
Well, the funny
Always
thing,
searching.
when we're actively searching for it, it never really happens like that. It has to happen organically, and like that happens through like, you know, just when you're not paying attention, as
Yeah.
time moves on. You know?
Mm-hmm.
It's cool. Have you guys seen any good shows lately that you've been like super influenced by as a band? Or-
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, you go first.
Okay.
Oh,
Also, introduce yourself because you.
Random member.
Another human being in the room now.
Hi, I'm Fernando.
That's not true.
Hey, Fernando.
Hey, I don't know. I'm back. Nice to see everybody. Just kidding. My name's Kanye West. Anyway, I saw Radiohead real recently. They were rad, and it was good and not bad. All right, next.
Wonderful. I think that was Aaron speaking.
That it was. For anyone who's
No.
overly
He's-
confused.
Fernando's still gone.
Yeah,
You can still keep the name. It's okay.
I saw Journey and Death Leopard yesterday. That was
Oh.
pretty dope.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, like it's really funny because when I saw them live, they have a different singer. Journey has a different singer. So it's kind of weird to like not see the original members, but at the same time, just kind of seeing like how good the guitarists are and like how good, yeah, how everyone was amazing and like the show was just perfect. Like I cannot even point out like one thing that I noticed that it was like, oh, that was off or anything. And then with that leopard, like their visuals were stunning, like the light effects and stuff.
So you're bringing fog machines to Where's Fernando.
I mean, yeah,
That's what I'm.
Seriously.
we're starting with the $10 light machines, and we're moving our way up eventually.
Do we have $10 light machines?
We
Yeah.
will soon.
We all know.
But yeah, I mean that was the last show I saw.
Jack.
I'm trying to remember.
Okay, yeah, you go for it.
This was a while ago, but I saw the band Bully, which is an up and coming band, and
I think I heard of them before.
they're so good. They definitely had one of the best live performances I've ever seen. So, for those who are listening, check them out.
What did you like about them specifically?
They well, one, they moved around a lot, which I dug. Like they were not just like this regular stage antics. They were actually like just in their own zones. Like they weren't even a band, but they were. It was like
Just getting into it.
yeah,
Like,
it was
really.
crazy. But they're also like intensity. Like they were a three-piece band. They still are a three-piece band as well. They weren't just. But yeah, I mean, it's just like I don't know. I don't even know. It was just like just mosh
Yeah.
pit.
It's
I don't know
fun.
what to say.
Those are always fun, yeah.
So two quick ones. One was actually actually you were at both of these shows with me.
Oh.
The
You see, I put my arm around him.
gosh. So the first one was that Kingfish show.
Oh, yes,
because
that was incredible.
he's this blues guitarist from
That's up there for me too.
was it
actually.
Atlanta or something? I don't remember.
Memphis?
Honestly, I thought it was Memphis, but I was wrong. That's beside the point.
Well, why-
But because I told you Memphis and I was wrong. But that was really awesome because I grew up playing like blues music and like that was like a huge part of my guitar playing. So like when I saw that, it kind of reminded me like why I loved it so much. So like I was super glad that we went to that show. And then the other one was we went and saw this band that kind of got put together just for this one event, and they played Kendrick Lamar's "To Pimp a Butterfly" from start to finish at Emporium.
Oh my
Ridiculous.
And
That was a
it
ridiculous
was
show.
honestly
wait,
incredible.
Wait, Emporium. Oh my God, wait. I think I know what we're
It's a-
talking about.
It
Who
was
was?
the one in
I was gonna go and then I
yeah.
couldn't.
Well,
Oh.
yeah.
You missed it.
There
It
it
was
was
really
it was
good.
a whole handful of great musicians.
What was the name of the main guy who put it on? Do you remember?
Jackson Shepard was part of it.
Jackson Strap, but like, oh no. Okay, I'll
It
remember.
was,
later.
I can't remember what the because they
Oh,
had,
they called themselves Illville Vanguard.
that's yeah that's what it was.
But like, do you know the organizer?
I don't.
Because I feel like I
remember.
know the organizer. Okay, anyway.
But it was a great show. Like, I mean,
Insane.
Yeah.
Insane.
they absolutely killed it, and so
Uh-huh.
that was like super inspiring.
Was it like was it rappers? But then was it
Yeah.
like
And they
A
had,
live
they had,
band?
Yep.
somebody
Live horns,
spinning,
live-
and they had
live
drums,
bass.
and they were all
Friggin'
moving
yeah.
around,
Shout
doing
out
a
to
bunch
the
of
drummer. He was
yeah,
phenomenal.
yeah, he was,
Yeah.
yeah,
Nice.
killed it.
So, have you guys? Did you guys all see that? That sounded like you. Huh?
Yeah,
actually, yeah, we were all there.
We were all there.
So that was one of the ones that you guys saw as a full band.
Yeah.
Um, Did you talk about taking any of those aesthetics away from that show and
Not
incorporate?
as much with that one because I would
rapping.
say
Yo.
I would say because it's so different from our sound, it's harder to pull specifics from it. But we definitely we didn't talk about it specifically, but I
Yeah.
know for me, like I was just kind of like watching the way that they interact with the crowd and like
Mhm.
just the performance
The
aspect
energy,
of it was big.
the energy of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally, lots of energy.
Hmm. Well, you guys are rather an energetic band. I mean, I haven't seen you live yet, which is a shame on me. But given your material, like it's really powerful. So do you guys do a lot of like stage, quote unquote, stage antics on stage, or do you guys just like kind of keep to yourselves?
It depends. It depends on the show.
Yeah, honestly, like
Two
sometimes
bass drums.
we're on our way to the venue and we're on the car just talking about all the ideas we have, and then we get to the actual place and the stage is like about the size of this, and we're just kinda like, okay,
Yeah.
like it's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Well, that's
for-
not when we do though. Then we kind of wild out.
yeah, it's true.
Yeah, I'd say it's
Standing
pretty
on
spontaneous.
amps and
We-
doing
we gotta
weird
say, like, the
things
little
on the
jumping bean.
ground.
The little jumping bean from the band is this guy right here, like.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Jumping bean, not a jumping legume. There are like people with bean allergies out there, and people generally don't.
We're just gonna take the mic away from him from now.
Oh wait,
Hang,
evolution.
hang on now. Don't do that.
There you go. Now you can
No.
And so when Aaron takes the stage, he really does embrace the jumping bean side of it. I would say.
All right, cool. Well, we've been talking for a while actually now, and we haven't played a song, so let's give the audience a break from voices and have them hear some more music. So we played Indifference and Finesta. What's one of your favorite songs to play live? That we haven't played yet on air.
Look around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look around. Yeah.
Look Around's a good one.
Is that the one that has the time signature changes?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes.
It's also the first one we ever wrote.
All
together,
right.
yeah.
Oh, cool. So this is Look Around by Where's Fernando, and you're listening to WRC 8.7 FM. And as a FYI, the Underbelly Hours will go for another 15 minutes more than scheduled, just to account for a little bit of, just more interview time. But here you go.
Look around, I'll never be the same. Times are always changing. You're the dream I remember. Caught inside the never-ending maze, always leading up to you. Summer little whisper keeps me on towards the start of something new. Between us, the distance widening. Around us, the people wondering why. The house on the hill is close tonight. To me, you mean nothing and everything.
Okay, so, hey guys, actually that was perfect.
Yeah.
We are back.
That timing.
It's the timing, bro. So that was Look Around by Where's Fernando. And if you're just tuning in, this is the time when the underbelly hours would normally be tuning out. But we have 15 more minutes because Where's Fernando? We want to give them the full time. Yeah, you guys are awesome.
We were
So
We're
retarded.
now
I wanted to talk.
underbelly after hours.
Oh, there we go.
Hey.
After
Um,
hours.
Beautiful.
Why you gotta?
It's all good. So, I wanted to ask you. That started a really cool conversation. I want to continue that on air. The last song we just played, "Look Around," it's got some really cool like time signature changes, and it's just like spicy and cool, and I really like that song. So can you maybe explain how you guys came up with it? Was it a jam? Did someone come in already
So,
pre-written, or?
Quixie came in, and also, I mean, it hadn't been mentioned, but Quixie's kind of the one who started the band, for lack of a better term, and you know,
Mhm.
got everyone together, and so
Told everyone to get there.
right, I told everyone to get in the same room together and start playing
Yeah.
music, so that was cool,
Cool.
of him. But
Thanks,
Yeah,
Quixie.
thanks,
Thanks,
Quixie.
Quixie. And so for our first original, he had the original guitar riff idea for that song, and he was just like, yeah, so I mean, like, I just have this one riff, I really like it, I have some lyrics, what do you guys think, like, you know, like,
Which
what
riff
can we
was
do with
it?
this?
The
Was
one in the beginning, or?
Yeah, that is just the way the song
Start
starts.
an acapella group.
Yeah, we'll just talk about it next time.
We'll try that
And
live.
then he showed to us, and I was just like, well, I'm hearing this bass line, like, how do you dig this? And he's like, I dig that.
And then I was like, samba.
Me and Christian always were trying to switch grooves up and change stuff
Because we're upper
rhythm
managed,
section.
apparently.
Yeah, right, something like that. I don't actually
And I
believe
wasn't
that.
part of the creation of the song, but when we started jamming on it, I like instantly heard that like other guitar
Added a
part
pretty essential part.
Mm-hmm.
over it. So it's cool that we all kind of like heard our own things on
Yeah.
that.
Mm-hmm.
And is that how?
Um,
it sounds
Which
like
is
that's how
yeah,
you
typically
generally
kind of how it
yeah.
goes. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, we never like bring something in and like you must play like these notes, like
Yeah.
unless it's like the main skeleton.
Sometimes that happens.
Unless it's the main
Unless it
skeleton, or
really
if, like for
sucks.
example, it's like that lick Quixie brought, and then it's gonna stay the same.
We're working on it.
Nice. So how have you guys? I wanted to ask you guys too, really quick. What are you guys making? Like, are you guys making new songs right now?
Yeah.
And if so, how are they? Are they varying from the ones that are on the album? Or are they kind of in a similar vein? or-
Definitely have some that are going. Honestly, a bunch of different songs are all going in very different directions. All have been debuted pretty much live, and so have really been incorporated into a bunch of the rest of our live set. And
Uh-huh.
and
Any
yeah,
more
I mean,
samba things?
yeah, I mean, we have some stuff that does that.
Oh,
I mean, we have like some more, some like harder rock tunes that Quixie and Jack, who've both kind of become a songwriting duo, have written a lot together.
Okay.
Aaron's brought in a bunch of like pretty heavy prog rock stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Me and Christian both have brought in like more songs, like that are kind of the same vein as the ones that we brought to the first EP.
Okay.
Everything's kind of expanding like their own directions.
Cool.
I definitely
been
feel like there's
expanding.
still some overlap between the two, though, sound-wise.
Mhm.
Not really sure like how so,
Well,
but you
I
hear
definitely
it.
feel
You
it.
can
I
hear it.
definitely-
You
I
can
hear
hear
it.
it.
Yeah, as someone
Yeah.
who's an outsider, obviously, to your band, what's cool about you guys is you have like your traditional rock kind of feel, but then you have like the two of the distinct things that I always hear are the tempo switches randomly in the middle and the things, and then a little times like there's like this like samba like Latin thing
Mhm.
like thrown in just occasional like splurts of it. So I don't know. I think that's maybe more my question. Is that something that's carrying over to your new stuff, or are you guys going like I don't know into jazz more into electron? A lot of bands are doing electronic sampling now, rock bands. Any of that kind of vibe or
And
like any electronic samples or anything?
I'd say yes and no. I think the heart of where we are at is that we like experimenting, and like it's in our bio technically. Like we want
Yeah.
the foundation of rock with our like twist,
Mhm.
the sample stuff. But as far as like the time signature changes, like we kind of have certain songs that are for that, and certain songs we're gearing towards more like pop element of not pop, but
Yeah.
it's like the song stripped to its basic form.
Mm-hmm.
And then as far as electronics go, we are we're actually thinking of incorporating like transitions and live sets with electronics.
Oh.
With kind of samples.
Like a computer, like
Yeah.
bringing a computer to like
To trigger all the
play.
sounds.
Yeah.
We haven't done it yet, but it's
Okay.
something that it's on our kind of main frame or on our minds,
Cool.
But
Yeah.
just,
Our next project is gonna be fresh.
Is it gonna be more of like a whole, like kind of what Christian was starting to say with like the transitions and stuff? Is it gonna be more of like a concept album kind of thing, or is it still gonna be?
We've gone that far, to be honest.
Yeah,
I don't
that's-
think.
we're just writing right now.
Yeah,
Okay,
at the
cool.
most, really, what our goal
Mhm.
has been, I think most of this past year has just been in amassing newer songs and writing a bunch of stuff and bringing
Mhm.
stuff in. Has just been to have kind of just a bunch of, because I very much feel for the EP was like, those were our originals. Like the songs that we recorded were the ones that we had.
Yeah.
Versus now when we have this next album, we really want the goal to be, we have written like 20 or 30.
But pick the
different
best
songs.
from
Let's pick the
those.
best,
Okay.
and let's come up with a cohesive theme or sound with what we have, and like maybe we'll start seeing some trend with like some these specific songs and not use these and include those on a different album. So I think like having a collection of stuff has been kind of the goal.
And are you guys thinking of expanding more, like doing different tour dates or something like that, or is it just?
Touring is something I would love to do.
Yeah. I think it's definitely the way to go, and like
Mhm.
the culture we live in. Like even though it seems the opposite with like media and like the online presence with
Mhm.
social media, to like.
But to make money, you gotta actually go out and sing.
Yeah,
some.
I mean, just like
Mhm.
the old days. Like it's never really changed. There's just this new technology out there. But
Mhm.
yeah, I mean, to tie that in, we'd love to go touring, and I think right now we're kind of focusing on we're perfecting our live sound
Mhm.
as well as writing. Like we're trying to get a really good set that we're just.
Mhm.
You want to talk more about that actually, because you were the one who kind of had that idea of keeping one set during live shows and then trying to like perfect it and try new things.
That's cool.
Yeah. So, what?
Nothing.
Nice. So for our set list, we're really trying to. We kind of created one, and instead of switching everything up completely for the next show,
Mhm.
what we're gonna try to implement is more of a just kind of rearrange it, but very like minusculely, like see what worked, what didn't work, what
Mhm.
fell after this song that maybe shouldn't have come, maybe we needed more energy there, and just like discuss it and like kind of make it almost like a living, breathing organism of sorts.
Mhm.
Is what I guess is what we're trying to do.
Yeah. Or like make it even just like just making it a show, like
Yeah.
rather than just like
Just
here's a band playing songs. Here's
Right,
like a
exactly.
whole experience. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. It's like almost reminiscent of like like the. I mean, I don't want to say the olden days because I'm sure there's bands who do that now. But what comes to mind immediately for me is like bands like like Pink Floyd and bands like the or who was Phil Collins with Genesis, like bands who like you go see a show and it was like a cohesive, like even if it wasn't like a concept album being played, it was like a
It always had an
thing,
idea.
artistic thing. Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
Totally.
Cool. Well, I was trying to actually, while you guys were talking about live stuff, I was trying to see if you guys have anything live that I could pull up is there anything live that we can pull up and play like a sound bite of like 30 seconds for people to like get a feeling? If not, we don't have to.
No, we don't. Wait,
Yeah.
we have Cage the Elephant.
We do.
If you go on my website,
But it's not an original.
actually. Again, that's
Plug.
Chris Moreno
Plug.
Percussion. Any of you need any freelance percussionists? I do everything. Yeah, I play classical music and jazz and musical theater.
Video.
Hire
It's
me.
like an around the
Hire.
internet.
Hire me.
There we go. You hear first. You heard it here first, guys. You heard it here first. Okay, so here's actually. Oh my God, what a mood.
Sorry.
So, nah, man, it's all good. So here's a little like we'll play like 30 seconds. Here's some of Where's Fernando live at Tonic Room for those of you who are listening and curious on what they sound like live.
You can forward through some of my drum solo.
Alright.
It starts off with the drum solo.
Oh, okay. So I'll skip through a little bit of that. Just all right.
Skip through all of it.
Here we go. And so that was live at Tonic Room. That was Where's Fernando. So you guys got a little bit of a sneak peek of what to expect when to hear them live. So we're actually probably nearing the end of the segment right now. So can you guys plug your shows? Since we just played a little bit of your show.
Well, we got July 20th at the Bottom Lounge.
July 20th at the Bottom Lounge.
That
July
is
20th.
This Friday.
Oh, wow. Did you
Um,
hear that? This
After
Friday.
Pitchfork, come on down to the Bottom Lounge for the real music.
Hey, there we go.
We have a house show in Schaumburg the next day. If anyone lives in Schaumburg, you guys can come.
Cool.
Feel free, come
Feel free.
through.
Come
Yeah,
come
you can
through.
Find,
yeah.
You can find that on our Facebook page. The event is on there.
It's actually private, Jack.
Okay, well,
So
I'm wrong.
actually, I don't know if you're gonna be able to go. Never mind.
But the Bottom Lounge
well-
show is on your Facebook page, right?
Yeah.
Yep,
And how much are
Bottom Line
tickets?
Show is on there.
10 pre-sale, 12 regular price at the door.
Cool, cool.
And
We didn't
then
make the prices, guys.
27th, 29th. Also good shows, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, we're gonna be playing at Yesfest.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Speaking of
Oh,
Yesfest,
gotta plug yes.
There we go.
And if you
Plug
live
in
in
Yesfest.
Indiana, we will be hitting Indiana on the 29th.
Oh, dang. That's
So,
nice.
yeah.
Cool. And I think you guys are playing, I don't remember everything now at the top of my head. I want to say around 5 or 6 on
3 p.m.
for free. Okay. I was 2 hours off.
I
Okay.
made
sure.
a big deal out of it.
Oh, okay. Cool. So they're playing at 3 p.m. on the Yesfest stage, the main stage outside. So check that out. And this has been Where Fernando. Thank you guys so much for coming on out. And if you're interested in listening to more of their music before they appear at Yesfest, you can find them at the Bottom Lounge on July 20th or look them up on Facebook or Instagram or Bandcamp or Spotify. List goes on. So thank you guys again for coming out. And I'm leaving you with some, I actually didn't let's do. Do you guys have a preference of what you guys wanna?
Rain song. I guess?
Rain song.
Yeah.
All right.
It's kind of a closer.
Bring the
Yeah.
vibes
Cool.
together.
There we go. So this is Rain song,
It is raining outside too.
and it is raining outside.
It was.
So
Yeah.
this has been just Adela today. Dan has been sick, but I hope that you guys have a wonderful night. Stay safe, stay dry, and we will see you next week to finish out Yesfest Bonanza, week 4. See ya.
Thank you.